Good morning, how are we all? Technical problems once again in the land of Mo. Very frustrating, very frustrating. But you know something, it makes no difference because we can still do a show, we can still have a bit of fun, we can still chat amongst ourselves, which is a very positive thing. I don't mind doing that. And at the end of the day, we can all walk away still being friends. Just because I don't do the papers doesn't mean that I can't do other things as well. Quite annoying because I tested all this last night, switched on the computer today, and it's not bringing up the things that we need it to bring up. I've restarted twice and it's just not capturing the papers window. I mean, I'm looking at the papers window right now, but it's not capturing what I need, which is quite frustrating. So I wanted to talk to you this morning just for 10 minutes about this thing called choice. It's something that is actually your only true freedom now. In this world, we've got so many laws, we've got so many institutions, organisations, collectives that have rules, and you make a choice to follow these rules, and some of them you have no choice to follow them, like the rules of civilization, the laws of countries and things, and the personal sort of freedom of being able to choose is something that we take for granted, because sometimes we use a lack of choice and a lack of awareness as an excuse for things. For instance, let's look at it from a global leadership point of view. Donald Trump is choosing not to address the problems in an appropriate manner. Boris Johnson chose not to come on every single day, whereas Nicola Sturgeon chose to come on television every single day. Vladimir Putin chose to ride bareback on a horse for a picture, or maybe that was photoshopped. I don't know. The point being is that you have choices in which you can choose the way that you feel. Now, some people that suffer badly from anxiety or badly from depression may feel that choice has been taken away from them as well. That I understand. Okay, at the end of the day, these choices can be removed partially from your control, but you still have the ability to choose to take a step in the direction of doing your best to feel better. Okay, so touching there on anxiety, and that is an alarm going off. Hold on. Time to wake up. Time to wake up. Good morning. It's my daughter fell asleep on the sofa last night. The ability to choose or the ability not to choose excuse me, is something that you should cherish. I mean, you really should, simply because it is absolutely vital to your own personal well-being. Now, I'm not going to ramble on about this because I'm only staying on today for probably about another 5 minutes, because I can't get the papers to come up, I can't capture that screen. But the reason I'm talking about choices is because you've got to look at both the positive and negative choices that people actually make in their lives. Let's say, for instance, you have a single mum or a single dad that has to go out and make ends meet. Alright, they choose to go and work a job, and they choose to have as much time with their child as possible, because they have to have a roof over their head, they have to have food in the cupboard, things like that. So they might make difficult choices with regards to the amount of time they can spend with that kid. So they go and work maybe 2-3 jobs just to support that, to give a reasonably good lifestyle, because it's difficult to get jobs these days. They may choose to go and do a job which is shunned by society. Somebody may wake up in the morning and go to work and say, I got out the wrong side of the bed this morning. Now, that is a mood, a bad mood, okay, that has been chosen by that person. You might not think that you have a choice about your moods, but you actually do. If you take a step back, just for a minute, just for 2 minutes, and breathe. And when you breathe and take that headspace that you might need just to think, how am I going to deal with things today? I suffered from anxiety and depression many years ago, and I did the very first human condition that I did that was not overlaid with this. I actually did a test run of speaking for an hour on Instagram, and you can find that on the Radio Apocalypse Instagram television channel, where I actually talk about depression and anxiety. I've kept it away from YouTube because I didn't know whether it was an appropriate thing to do. If anybody's watching this and they want me to tell that story on YouTube, I'm quite happy to tell that story on YouTube if you want me to. What I'm talking about just now, though, is my choices, because I can't say that I am anything. Hold on, there we go. Yeah, it's fine. I can't say that I'm anything other than an expert in my own personal experiences. I can't say what's right for you. I can't say what's right for anybody else. I can say to a certain extent what is right for my children, because I'm their dad. But they still make their own choices to argue, to do their homework, to not do their homework, stuff like that, which is cool. But let's consider my depression and anxiety. There's nothing I could have done about it, so that choice was removed. There was still those things going on inside my head, but the way that I got better was I chose to take steps to healing. The medication that I was on, 3 different types over the space of a year, didn't work, so I chose to go cold turkey. I chose that I made the decision I had enough. What is it that I can do to put that choice back in my hands? So I chose to go cold turkey and come off the medication. It was awful. It was terrible. I kind of regretted it, but it was the right thing to do. And then I moved into a position where I could make smaller choices, which was, right, instead of getting up, taking my partner to work, coming back and going to bed and spending the whole day hiding under the covers, I was going to get up, take my partner to work and go and find the green of nature, because nature's a great healer of things that go on in your brain. She switched her alarm on to snooze. Another alarm? Obviously you didn't. Anyway, so I chose to go under the sea of green in a forest, and it was great. So the choices I made there for anxiety and for depression worked really well for me. It might not work for you, but like I say, I'm an expert in my own opinion. But that's when I discovered that you actually have choices to make in this world. I chose to not stay at the counsellor that was going on there because I didn't have a rapport with that person. I didn't feel comfortable, so I made the choice not to continue with counselling. I chose not to speak to other people. I chose to hide under the covers for the best part of over a year. I chose to ignore the voices that were actually in my head for the best part of that year. It was quite a dangerous time in my mind. But I did choose to do what I considered to be the right things, and because I made those choices, that was a freedom and there was nothing anybody else could do with it. I chose to be completely aware of the the impact that it had on other people, and chose to do that breathing thing that I said at the start before I reacted to my partner, because we would fall out about things, and I felt cornered all the time, and it was awful, to say the least. However, the choices that today I'm talking just generally. You've got people that choose their job, they choose what they're going to have to eat, they choose their mood, and it's their mood and the choices that they make in that sense that I'm talking about the most. But let's think about, what about the people that do jobs that might be shunned by society. Let's say, for instance, people in the adult entertainment industry. Now, in that particular world, I don't condone it. I don't criticize it. It's one of those things. As long as somebody's doing it by choice and they're safe and they're okay for doing it, it's really got nothing to do with me. Exploitation of both men and women is wrong. Okay, so my rule of thumb when it comes to choosing is, if it's between adults and both parties are willing, then that's okay. If as soon as consent is removed from the equation, then that's a no-no. So you have, how can you then judge, like, a mum that's having to work as an internet model, okay, to make ends meet? How can you even say, a dad that does that to make ends meet, to provide for their children because their job doesn't pay enough? They can go and do things online that they might feel guilty about, but it's to keep a roof over their head. It's to put an extra few pennies in the bank. That's a choice that they've made. How about the people that choose to work really, really hard, okay, at their career, and they're very successful because they have that choice, but that choice is then limited the amount of time that they have with their family. What about the people that choose to complain about their jobs? They've got everything they need. They've got a roof over their head. Everything's getting paid for with their mediocre job, but they're complaining that they want more. It's their choice to remain in that position. Sometimes people feel trapped by their choices, but nevertheless, you still have control over that. Even if it's a tiny choice, like waking up in the morning and think, right, today I'm going to go and look for another job that's better, something that I want to do, something that's a positive thing to do. I think it's important that we always remember that we do have that choice, and I think it's important to remember that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what people say in organisations, it doesn't matter what people say in countries. You can choose to behave in the way that you want to, and that is absolutely vital. So choose to be a good soul, choose to be happy, choose to love people. That might not be the way the world works. There's some nasty people out there that want to do nasty things, criminals, bank robbers, on the digital world, hackers, stuff like that. There's people that are nefarious, that do want to cause harm, and they're making the choice to do that because they might think that it's funny, they might think that it's the appropriate thing to do. But long and short of it, you can't just turn round and expect those choices to remain constant. If you're choosing negative stuff all the time, eventually enough negativity builds up, and the choice that you make has an impact on people that won't accept your choices. They choose not to accept your negativity, your way of dealing with things. And as a result of that, you might end up being on the receiving end of somebody who is, that might, it's difficult to explain, that might do something nasty to you, that might turn round and, make you feel inadequate, and that really isn't fair in the grand scheme of things. Why should you suffer as a result of that? It's not on. And at the end of the day, you can only accept your choices. You can only accept your choices. And if somebody else makes a choice that that you don't like, you know, if it has a social impact on you, like it mocks you or something, again, you can go back to choosing how you want to react to it. But it's difficult. It's a difficult thing to accept sometimes, about this. I don't know. I'm only an expert, like I say, in myself. I'm not an expert in what you guys have to do at the end of the day. It's important though that at the end of the day you realise that what you choose can have both a negative and a positive impact on people. So remember that. That's probably the most important thing in the whole wide world. Your choices have an impact on others. And if you're selfish and you don't care, well, hate to tell you, that's also a choice. You can choose not to be selfish, and you can choose to care. There's a friend of mine that I've known for many years, that had a bit of a challenging upbringing, and she's kind of a recluse, and she lives in my city, or she did live in my city last time I knew about it. And I knew her when she was just a teenager and used to come into this sort of like this place that I worked that was like a focal point for kids. It was like one of these laser game places, and she had like quite a challenging upbringing. Her boyfriend as well committed suicide. She lived with her uncle and her auntie, and her uncle wasn't particularly wonderful. Didn't abuse her or anything like that. Wasn't like that. But she was very much a quiet person, and she found that at the laser game place you could open up a bit. Anyway, being surrounded by people having fun and a positive thing was very good for her. But she ended up moving into, was one of the most successful internet model webcam people. Alright, now we might turn around and judge that and say, hey, look, that's a terrible thing. She's been exploited. Well, she chose that. She chose not to be exploited by it. And to be perfectly honest, it was the right choice for her. She doesn't have a relationship with men because of other things that have happened. She can't go out and work. She's not comfortable. When I say comfortable, she cannot interact socially with people. Her level of anxiety of interacting on a face-to-face basis with people is beyond any medication or anything. She finds it difficult just to go to the shops. So now she owns 2 or 3 flats around Scotland and a house just outside Edinburgh, sorry. And she doesn't do that job anymore, but that job paid for a lifestyle to begin with. So should we turn around and criticise her for the choice that she made? If she was being exploited, perhaps. Is it immoral what she was doing? Perhaps. I don't know. But she now provides the houses and flats that she has around Edinburgh provide the income that she needs with the form of rent. And to be perfectly honest, I've bumped into her once and I was amazed that she was actually out and about. She's a grown woman now, and it's amazing. So the choices that she made to come out into the world of the laser game place, to interact with people there, step forward positively, to move away from the household when she was old enough, and to find something that she didn't love what she did, but she certainly did it because it was one of the only things that she could do that allowed her to do stuff. Now, when she told me years ago that that's what she did, I was very much of the mind, well, why are you doing such a thing? You know, you've got so much potential to go out and do it. And then she explained that, you know, there's like about half a dozen, 6 or 7 people in the world that that she's comfortable being socially with, and myself was one of them. I mean, she could open up to me. So I couldn't judge her for her choices because it was the best choice for her. She was not hurting anybody else, and it was consensual. So how could I turn around and criticise her for that? And that happens with a lot of people. People that do different things. We seem to criticise. We choose to criticise and choose to turn around and do stuff like that. Yeah, it's a strange world. It's a strange world. Anyway, it's Friday today, isn't it? Let's talk about something a bit better, a little bit more positive. Check this out, for instance. We are tonight on open mic night. This will be the second time we've done a performance since we started open mic night. When did we start it? It was Barry's idea to do this, because I says we need to think about doing something. In fact, it was Barry's idea we kind of evolved open mic night and round table into what it is today. But open mic night was always a time for members or artists or musicians or whatever to come forward and, you know, do a little bit for us if they wanted to. If they didn't want to, that was cool. But we've only managed to have one artist on, which was Mr. Bones last week, and wow, what a party that was. But tonight, it's going to be me. It's going to be me doing my thing, and I'm going to be reading a version of the Gruffalo that is in Old Scots, and it is actually written with a Scottish accent. So that is tonight at 10:30 on this channel. Go and set your reminders and your alarm bells and stuff. It would be fantastic to actually have you here. It would be good fun, and make an appointment for that. We are also embarking on our members activity for the weekend, watch party weekend. This was when Barry first turned round and said, you know, we could do this on a Friday. I went, that's a great idea. So we kind of evolved what was going to be like an open chat night on a Friday to something that is the way that it is just now. And then he says, why don't we, you know, do sort of like a review type thing? And I says, I was considering that as well. He says, what shall we review? Oh, tech stuff. And it's like, no, I'm only joking. He didn't say that at all. We had a good chat about it, and I kind of thought, well, we could do a watch party over the weekend and, you know, get the the community guys to talk about a movie, and then we all watch it over the weekend when we don't broadcast that much, and then we can review it all with the panel on the Monday. So we're quite a positive sort of like show. We do, let's just talk through what we do on a Monday. It's the round table from dissecting what's happened at the watch party weekend. Tuesday's kind of a free day. That's when I like to do Slenderman, the game Slenderman on Mixer. Wednesday is kind of like the only sort of human-y type real world personal thing that we do, called the Human Condition. We don't do any other content at all that's like that, because I choose not to do that. That's my choice. I don't want to dip into the darkness of terrible things. And what have we done so far with that? We've done 4 shows, one sort of pre-show on Instagram, because I wanted to practice speaking for an hour. The first show was the toxic behaviours. The second show was about internet gurus and how they like to con you. And the third show was about cult behaviours. I mean, we're doing the behavioural side of human beings, which is a very good thing. It's interesting to know. And this, I suppose, this today's been a little bit about it as well. I was actually going to do a show about choice, but I think it's important, you know, when I finish up, why I've done the choice thing going on. Anyway, looking at the Thursday is the COVID Chronicles, which is kind of our news show where we look at like the impact of coronavirus and kind of what's going on in the world, both positive and negative. Some of the stuff's quite funny, like last night, finding out that Donald Trump's had his Twitter removed from the featured section on Snapchat. And then we have Friday night, which is open mic night. So what is our content like? We are social commentators. We are anything goes type people. We like to talk. I think that's our strength. We like to talk a bit too much, to say the least. And then we hit watch party weekend. I then also do at least 5 morning shows a week, sometimes 6 if I do it on a Sunday as well. And the Sunday shows, Sunday papers, the format that takes is under review with how I do it all, because people generally might not want to see me make porridge and talk crap while the kettle boils. So maybe having that ready to begin with and just coming in and speaking like I've done this morning might be the positive thing to do. Maybe that's a choice that I need to make in the direction that I should take as well. But yeah, that is what Radio Apocalypse is. There's been challenges with the channel, obviously, because I have 4 children and a wife, and to be able to sit and prepare stuff is going to be more challenging because I stop shielding and venture back into the lockdown lifted world. That happens very, very soon, and yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's why I do the times at 10:30 at night and 6:30. We'll probably have to move this show to a 6 o'clock start when I start work, because I need to be working just after 7. So it'll have to be a cut down version of it, and I think that's what we'll do. So this is good practice for just rambling without any props to you guys for half an hour. Good. Right, so remember, at the end of the day, okay, you have control over your choices. You have control over the mood that you take. Even if you suffer greatly from anxiety or depression, you can choose to take a step sideways, either side, and breathe and think about what's going on. And you actually, you have great strength in that choice. You have a remarkable strength in that choice, in the way that you want to feel and the way that you want to behave. And when you accept that ability to do that and to feel the strength about doing it, it is incredibly liberating. It truly, truly is. And I would highly recommend choosing to sit down and consider that. When you're afflicted and you're challenged with those issues, when you are, you have the scars like my friend of a life that was not normal, and you sit down and you consider past those scars and think, well, what is it that I can actually do? Okay, I can take my medication. I can go out and get a job. Well, no, I can't. I'm socially awkward. I can't do that. I can go out and do something online. I can work from home. There's bound to be jobs I can work from home. I can choose to maybe go for a walk into places where there's not many people. Okay, do you see how this works? Tiny little choices put together can make a massive impact. So I want you to remember that. And I think that at the end of the day, when daylight hits you in the morning and you sort of like pull the covers over your head thinking, I just don't want to do this. Okay, that also is a choice. I chose to get up this morning and to do this. This is something I love. I love interacting with you. And this channel is going to remain here in some form, doing the format that we've got. It will evolve because we can, because we're not really a niche, and because we're not really a niche, we're not going to grow fast. But that is not the point. The point is that the people that choose to come and watch me, whether it be 1 or 2 people in the morning or 22 people in the evening, it's irrelevant. Okay, I'm doing this because I've got things that I want to say. I choose to say them. I choose to be here, and I choose to thank every single one of you that makes a choice to listen to me, to watch me, to interact with me on socials, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that more than you can possibly imagine. And you'll always have. This is me, by the way. I'm not pretentious. This is who I am. This is not an internet personality. Mo is Mo, and that's who I am. And there's many choices in my time that I'm not proud of, but I've learned from them. I truly have learned from them, and I want to thank you all for coming here today. Let's just say that there's a few people in YouTube land. Feel free to say hello just now. We've got about a minute before I go, so you've got about 40 seconds before I'm going to finish the stream. It would be lovely to see who's on, so I can interact briefly with you. If my ASMR style tones has lulled you into a little snoozy town, apologies. I do get that sometimes. Maybe that's why I don't have as many viewers, because I put you all to sleep with my rambling. It's good morning. That's my grandmama mama. I'm there as well. And yeah, that's it. No papers. Can't get the papers up. I'm going to go and fix that this morning. But first, I'm going to get the kids up and go and do their things. And yep, kids go back to their mums today after lunchtime. So the usual time, mum, I need the car back. Thank you. And that is where we are. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful Friday. Remember to come and join in tonight with the old Garofalonius, because that is going to be so much fun. Sorry, that is going to be so much fun. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you tonight.